It's Mornings with Richard Cross. Scott Sands, your substitute teacher for today. You can find me on X at Scott Sands Media. C-Spire text line open at 601-879-4395. We're joined here on SuperTalk Mississippi by Commissioner of Agriculture Andy Gipson. Commissioner, great to see you again.
Great to see you, Scott. Good morning, and excited to be with you today. Thanks for hosting.
So this is your first interview since you announced your candidacy for governor. I'm surprised you decided to do it with me and not somebody more important like Richard or Gerard.
Well, you know, it's Monday, and I want to get up bright and early, and I want to let everybody know I'm the very first one to. I'm going to take this hat, and I've tossed it in the ring, all right? It's in the ring. I am running for governor in 2027. I will be a candidate. We have a great, exciting plan. I'm so humbled by the response of the people, and I'd like to share a little bit about my thinking, my background, and some plans if I can do that today on your show. I'd appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely.
To do that.
I would encourage you, though, not to throw a white cowboy hat into the ring with as much rain as we've got. You might want to pick a different color cowboy hat.
Don't worry, I'll keep it out of the mud. You'll be seeing it. You'll be seeing it around. Yeah.
So why not so early? What made you decide to run for governor?
Well, by way of background, I have, I've been praying about this, and that's the honest truth. I've been praying about this for a long time. I'd say 2 years. And people ask me everywhere I go, are you running for governor? Will you run for governor? And my answer has always been, I'm praying about it. Also, I've been talking to the Lord, and I've been talking to the people, and I've been listening to the people. And the people have consistently asked me to do this. I will tell you, it's not an easy decision. My wife, Leslie's here with me. I want her to lean in. She's it's a decision we made together.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah. So this is a family decision. We have 4 children. We still have 2 girls that are at home, and they're involved in that decision. But talking to the Lord, talking to the people, and talking to my family, I am ready to make this decision. I have made this decision, and I will be a candidate in 2027 for governor. Now, you know, the easy decision would be to stay ag commissioner. It's the best job in Mississippi. I mean, who else can do the things that we do? Have 500,000 people come to our place twice a year for the Dixie National Rodeo and the State Fair. Who else can have the fun that we have promoting agriculture and commerce? But I have made the decision because I do believe in term limits. I'm term limiting myself so that I can seek to do more for the people of Mississippi. And I'm humbly, respectfully asking for your vote, for your support, mostly for your prayers and your vote come August 2027.
So what are you hearing from the people of Mississippi as you travel around to the state's 82 counties? What are their priorities that resonate most with you?
Well, their priorities are, we want a conservative governor. And, you know, there are lots of people who give lip service to the idea of being conservative. But the Lord has allowed me to actually do it. The Lord has allowed me to actually lead in this. Whether it was being in the legislature for all those years, I was honored and humbled to be the leader in the pro-life movement effort in our legislature, working with our pro-life groups. And we, along with Becky Curry, wrote the legislation that passed, and God used that bill to overturn Roe versus Wade. I have been the leader and am the leader in our Second Amendment efforts here in the state. I wrote every piece of legislation that restored our Second Amendment rights in Mississippi, that allowed us to restore constitutional carry in our state. I was privileged to be able to be a part of their effort to write the Church Protection Act at a time when churches were under attack, and we were the first state to have something like that. We put it in the law. I'm honored to have been a leader in terms of other legislative important priorities like law enforcement, passing the Back the Badge Act, and supporting our efforts for our law enforcement. And Lord knows it's more important now than ever that we have the back of our law enforcement community. And I have a lot of big ideas about that. But I'm excited about what we can do. I'm excited about what we have done. And I'm honored to say I have always supported our president, Donald J. Trump. I was there with him when he went into office in 2016, supported him actively in the 2020 election that was rigged. It was, I think it was that COVID had everything messed up. But of course, I'm excited that he's back in the White House, and I've been in touch with the White House, and look forward to continuing to work with him. We're working with him right now in the EPA, rewriting, reducing regulations, the USDA, Secretary Brooke Rollins, and we're going to help make Mississippi healthy again, and a lot of great efforts like that. But I want to, when people say I want a conservative governor, they say I want somebody who's going to make government more efficient, smaller, and unlike others who have only talked about it, I've actually done it. When I took office,
I want to talk about some of the ag issues in a second. If you can stick around for a second segment in a minute, Commissioner. In your announcement last week, you highlighted defending Mississippians against leftist policies. I'm curious what specific state or federal policies you view as threats, and what's your strategy to counter them?
Absolutely. At the federal level, we have faced threats from the Biden administration, EPA, in the last 4 years that has been trying to take over our land, take over our right to farm, the waters of the United States. They blocked our finish the pumps efforts here in Mississippi. Thank God for the Trump administration that's got it back on track. We're going to finish those pumps. Radical environmental leftists that we have written comment after comment to fight against at the federal level. And frankly, at the state level, we've seen the rise of leftist policies. I remember just a few years ago, our legislature had a bill that would raise sales taxes on everybody in Mississippi. And these were Republican leaders that knew better, and they would have taken away all of our agriculture exemptions and other sales tax exemptions for businesses. So these are the things that I've had to speak out against, and I will speak out against. And I think the people of Mississippi know that I'm serious about it when I say we're for keeping taxes low, we're for keeping regulations low. I went in the first year and repealed every regulation in the ag department that I could. The only ones that remain are those that are mandated by state law. So the law has to change to do more, but I'd like to do that in every agency that the governor has authority over in the state of Mississippi. And I want to do all this, but I cannot do it without the support of the people. I've had a great response from the people. I want to thank you, the people of Mississippi. You have rallied to our effort here. And it's a reminder that it's the people who are in charge. It's not the big lobbyists. It's not the multimillionaires. It's not the campaign consultants, the talking heads. It's the people with a capital P. And that's who I work for, have always worked for, and it's who I'm going to work for from here on out. And you remember when Biden had all these vaccine mandates, I'm the only statewide official that issued an executive order banning those mandates on all our properties. And I'm honored to have done that because I was stepping in for the people in that moment. We do not recognize the authority of the federal government to tell the people of Mississippi every little detail of their life. We have the right as the people to drive the ship of state. And when I am on the ballot in 2027, it is my goal and my request, humbly request, for people to support me. And I think we've seen a really strong support the last 3-4 days. There have been some polls online that have been taken, and I'm really humbled by that. The truth is, the Lord has allowed me to do everything that I've mentioned that I have done, and it's the Lord who's going to allow me to do it in the future. I feel today, Scott, like I felt when I first ran for the legislature. I felt called to run for the legislature. In fact, I could tell you some stories that would convince you that I was and am. I felt called to take on the role of ag commissioner. I felt the same way then as I feel right now. I feel that I'm called by God to do this. And of course, I've got to get elected. And that involves a campaign. It involves a lot of efforts and fundraising and meeting goals. And we're doing that. We're kicking that off. But over the next few days, I'll be rolling out our platform, an official platform that I think the people of Mississippi are going to resonate with. And I want everybody to know this. I'm not running against anybody, okay? All the other people who are talking about running, most of them are my friends. And I want to maintain that, and I mean that. I'm not going to be running a nasty campaign against anybody. I'm running for the office of governor. That office belongs to the people of Mississippi. And I just simply feel that the Lord has led me to do this. I want to be obedient to him, and my family and I humbly, we ask you to pray and to support, and we're asking for your vote in August of 2027.
Will you be combining your gubernatorial campaign with promotion for your album at all?
Well, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee today. Actually, I have a meeting at the Grand Ole Opry a little bit later And I'm finishing up my country album. Yeah, I'll be rolling that country album out. I have two albums, a gospel album and a country album. They will both come out on all streaming platforms on July the 11th, and I look forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I've had fun doing it, and nobody else may like it, but hey, Leslie, come here. We got a fantastic duet. Leslie, tell it was her idea, all right?
It was not my idea.
It was she said, let's do Rockin' Years. But I didn't know I needed a female artist on it. So I called her. I said, hey, will you do the duet? She said, I've never sung. She sounds like a young Dolly Parton. Wait till you hear it. July the 11th.
I can't wait.
Rockin' chairs, rockin' baby.
Can you stick around for another segment, Commissioner?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Andy Gipson here on Mornings with Richard Cross. I'm Scott Sands on SuperTalk Mississippi. We'll get into some of the state's ag issues next. Hang on. It's Mornings with Richard Cross. I'm Scott Sands on Exit Scott Sands Media. And Ag Commissioner Andy Gipson is joining us this morning on SuperTalk Mississippi. He's also a candidate for governor, one of the first to announce for 2027. I want to talk about some of the things happening in agriculture in the state, and this kind of ties into your gubernatorial campaign as well. The industry itself, I believe, generates about $9 billion a year. How do you deal with some of the challenges that face the industry, commodity price volatility, federal regulations, and what could you do as governor to enhance the ag industry in the state?
Well, the reality is that our farmers, ranchers, and landowners are hurting like never before, and it's because of the disaster of the Joe Biden administration the last 4 years, a record agriculture trade deficit that he allowed to happen where we're now, as Americans, importing more foreign products than exporting American products. That's unacceptable. I'm working closely with the Trump administration on this. Just here at this conference, I learned that there are 18 trade deals that are about to be done that are going to be hugely positive to help in the long term. We got to get these deals done before harvest time in Mississippi. Also, disaster. We're having record rainfall in North Mississippi. A lot of farmers not even able to get their crops in the ground, and if they are, they're not going to make a crop. And we're learning a lot about the new USDA economic disaster relief that's being rolled out by Ag Secretary Rollins here, and I'm taking notes on all that. And I know something about disasters. If you remember, I was really involved in the response to the Jackson water crisis because we were able to drill our own water well on the fairgrounds, and we helped get the water where it needed to go. That same principle will apply to disaster relief for farmers, those affected by storms, as well as economic disaster. And then access to health care is another big issue. I think one of the things that we really got to focus on in Mississippi, and I want to give a great shout out, kudos to Governor Tate Reeves. He's doing a fantastic job in growing our economy, growing the number of jobs, putting that positive image that we always have known in Mississippi, but now he's putting that out to the world in economic development. I think access to health care in rural Mississippi is going to be a big, big issue. I know it's a big issue for our farmers. There are some new options for health care that are going to be rolled out really soon. For example, the Farm Bureau health plans, which is a non-Obamacare private sector health care policy that's going to be available, I think, in January. That's something we're working on. And then our big initiative is Make Mississippi Healthy Again. You know, this is where we help our farmers and our economic growth and our people of Mississippi. The president has a vision to make healthier, more healthy foods in all of our grocery stores and shelves, and, you know, encouraging people to quit grabbing a sack of ultra processed potato chips and eat an apple or some blueberries instead. And so we have launched our own Mississippi version of this. You can go to that website at makemshealthyagain.com. And last Monday, a week ago, I convened a meeting of nutritionists, dietitians, nurses, doctors, and hospitals and healthcare clinics and providers, as well as farmers and ranchers, to talk about how we bring all this together and do more. Because the fact is, it's just common sense that you are what you eat. If you eat junk food, you're going to have junky health. If you eat healthy farm-raised food, you're going to be healthier, and healthier food with a healthier lifestyle makes healthier people. And that's what we want to have, a Make Mississippi Healthy Again is about having a healthier Mississippi. And at the same time, it's going to give our farmers opportunities. I'm talking with the state education department right now about really expanding the federal farm to school program that has been roadblocked by bureaucracy for all these years. And now with the Trump administration, we have a chance to do a total redo of this and get more local foods, more farm raised foods in our cafeterias to all the kids, all the schools, at the same time as we're helping our farmers. And I'd like to do the same thing with our inmate population in the corrections department. I've talked with Commissioner Kane about this, ways that we can provide more farm-raised fresh foods to help people. Mississippi spends, I think, he said $179 million on health care for inmates. That is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, that is a huge cost. Think what you could do with that. And if we can help these inmates who are in the population to be healthier, it's going to cost Mississippi less. And it starts with eating right. So we're going to be rolling out this. I have my next meeting on this in DeSoto County. DeSoto County will be on the Make Mississippi Healthy Again tour this coming Thursday, I think at 11 o'clock. I'll be there for the ribbon cutting of the new Ag Center in DeSoto County.
When you look at the state's high rates of obesity and diabetes and chronic illnesses, this campaign to make Mississippi healthy again, to make America healthy again, is really transformative. I've been on a personal weight loss journey myself. I've talked about this on the show before for the last year and a half. Now I am taking GLP-1s, tirzepatide, but I've dropped more than 100 pounds. I've cut out all the processed foods from my diet. I'm eating organic foods, eating healthier. I haven't had fast food really in like a year and a half. And I've never felt better. I had a father who died of a heart attack at 35 and uncles who died at young ages from heart attacks. And here I am. I always joke I'm on borrowed time 20 years later after the age they died. But I really think that changing your eating habits, your diet, and cutting those things out of your system brings longevity. Gets you off of all of the pharmaceuticals that you're taking for cholesterol and heart disease and blood pressure. I've never felt healthier because of making those kind of conscious changes to eating habits.
Yeah, and that's something that we have had a personal experience with as well. We live on our farm. We raise our family on our farm. We grow our own food, and we do it in a way that, makes us a healthier family. And we want to get that message out to everybody. So we're visiting farms all across the state. I published a list of locations where I'm going to be in the month of June, and then we'll do another one in July. But we're going everywhere from DeSoto County to the Mississippi Gulf Coast, promoting the great healthy food products that Mississippians have access to and how we can get more of that to more people and make Mississippi healthy again. One more thing, if I could tell you, Scott.
Sure. And I've got a follow-up question to that, too, Commissioner.
Okay, go. Shoot. Yeah. Go ahead.
Somebody on the C-Spire text line wanted to know about raw milk in the state. I haven't made that leap to raw milk, but I understand it's a healthier choice if you're going to drink dairy products.
Well, I introduced a bill to legalize raw milk in Mississippi for a number of years, and I never could get it out of committee because it was, just fought against. It's actually illegal in Mississippi to sell raw cow's milk under state law. The legislature will have to change that law. However, it's legal to sell raw goat's milk in Mississippi under state law. That's the kind of crazy stuff we're talking about. And so it's something we got to look at. I'm going to be at the Hernando Farmers Market in a few days, and we'll be talking about a lot of great options that they're providing for folks in terms of healthy foods. But I encourage people to get out and visit those farmers markets. That's where you find the great opportunities for folks. But I want to encourage, right now in Mississippi, we have abundant, available pasteurized milk, local farms that have milk products on their farm you can go and buy. And so we're excited about promoting all these options, and we'll work with the state legislature going forward in the future on these other issues. But if I want to mention one thing that I think most people don't know about me, and that is I'm not a politician in the sense of having a government job all my life, okay? I came from the private sector. I'm 100% Mississippi raised, educated, graduated Brandon High School, went to Mississippi College School of Law, and the Lord blessed my efforts and allowed me to serve in the legislature. But for 20 years, I was and am an attorney, a business attorney. And that, like Donald Trump, I'm somebody who puts deals together. All right, that's been I made a living for that for 20 years. I don't do a lot of it anymore. But for 20 years, I handled big business deals. In fact, I had the privilege to work on the state's largest private capital raise transaction for a publicly traded company, the state's largest publicly traded company, not one, but two back-to-back record capital raise transactions. And what I like to do and how I operate is getting people around the table and say, all right, here's our goal. What we want to accomplish is this. What do? We do this, this, and this. And then when everybody can come to consensus on it, we can move forward and get the thing done. Governor Tate Reeves has done a phenomenal job, and I want to thank Bill Cork. He's doing a tremendous job at MDA. But I'll say this, that it's going to be important that we keep that momentum going into the future. And I believe that I'm the candidate who can make that happen and keep those deals rolling at the same time as we have the opportunities to support agriculture, to support our farmers, to take strategic steps today for what are going to be critical days ahead. We're in a pivotal moment of farming, and in Mississippi, there's no greater industry than farming, and we have got to be smart today. We got to plant the seeds today for the future of agriculture tomorrow that we want to bear fruit and do good for our people, keep agriculture strong, and keep it American. I'm all about buying American. We have a Genuine Mississippi program. We promote our local products, but we've got to make sure we keep American agriculture American in this state and in this country.
I need you to keep your answer to 30 seconds, which may be a challenge for you, and I mean that with the most respect, Commissioner. Tell me how concerned we should be about these invasive ants that Mississippi State has found in parts of the state.
We should be really concerned about them. We have, the Department of Ag used to have a fire ant program that ended because of federal regulations, but it's something that we're going to be researching. Mississippi State, we work very closely with. Another reason we got to have great investment in ag research and education. I'm excited about the future, and I look forward to talking to y'all again soon across our great state.
You're welcome anytime, Commissioner Andy Gipson. It's great to see you again. Thanks for your time.
See ya. God bless.
Can't wait for the albums to come out in July as well. Commissioner Andy Gipson here on Mornings with Richard Cross, SuperTalk Mississippi. I'm Scott Sands.